us now is former Democratic campaign operative Evan Barker. Evan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Batya. It's great to be here.
It's so great to have you. So you raised $50 million for the Democrats and then abandoned them in a blaze of glory in your disgust, basically, at the Harris campaign. Your family is truly representative of the kinds of folks that both parties are fighting over right now, the kinds of people who decide elections, working class Midwesterners who were Union Democrats for generations and now are MAGA Republicans. Explain to us where you're at right now and how the shutdown affected you in terms of how you see yourself politically.
Absolutely. You know, so I did leave the Democrats officially after the DNC in 2024, following the coronation of Kamala Harris. I was disgusted by the Democratic Party not acting very democratically. But truth be told, I became disillusioned before the DNC for many of the reasons that were just outlined in this report, actually deciding to win. And I felt like they had gone too far to the left on cultural issues, and they weren't focusing enough on economics. In fact, during the election, you know, one of the things that drove my own mother, who had voted Democrat her entire life and now supports Donald Trump, is that she felt like Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party was completely ignoring the economy and gaslighting her about how bad it was. And turns out she was vindicated, right? So, you know, now that we are about almost a year into Donald Trump's first term, I maintain my status as an independent. I did decide to vote for him, but I'm going to be honest with you. There have been several aspects of this administration that have disappointed me, and most of those include cuts to social programs, programs like Medicaid. We just saw $1 trillion cut for Medicaid. And now, you know, we've got a situation where the Democrats are trying to get funding put back into the Medicaid program and also not let these Obamacare subsidies expire. And instead of actually engaging them and negotiating them, I really see the Republicans using illegal immigrants getting benefits as a wedge issue to keep from having that conversation. And I think that they're making a mistake. I don't think they realize the full political reality of their party.
Well, do you think that this is going to lead to a mass exodus of people like your mom who, you know, flipped for Donald Trump when we look forward to 2028?
It's entirely possible. You know, my family still personally loves Donald Trump. They think he's hilarious, and, you know, they adore him, actually. But they are disappointed. They don't feel like a lot of the things that they saw in the big, beautiful bill, beyond the border security and the increased funding for immigration, which they were very happy with, you know, they didn't see a lot of things that directly helped them. And so, you know, and I've got cousins on Medicaid. My grandmother, who voted for Trump, you know, her grandson is on Medicaid in Missouri, and he's disabled. And so, you know, we're worried about him and access to hospitals. And, you know, he lives in a rural part of Missouri. So I think with Donald Trump not being on the ballot in 2028, yes, this could absolutely affect them. And for the life of me, I just don't understand why they couldn't have just stuck to, you know, the bread and butter issues of getting the economy up and running, extending those tax cuts just to the middle class. They didn't need to do it for the wealthy. You know, as you saw in that polling, that's not really that popular with Republicans or Democrats, especially working class people. And most importantly, not cut health care. That is creating a huge opening for Democrats. It is the one high value issue, according to Blue Rose Research, that's David Shor's polling firm, that Democrats still have slightly more trust with the public on than Republicans. So for the life of me, I don't know why they would cut $1 trillion from Medicaid and now double down with a shutdown.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.